All right. Hello, everyone. Today is Monday, February 19th, 2024. And this is my weekly market review. I'm going to make this pretty quick. And I'm going to take a look at the weekly charts and maybe glance at the daily charts just to show you guys what the here and now looks like and the broader picture. So the broader picture paints a picture of overbought market in the near term. Here is how we ended the week last week on this Dow Jones Industrial Average with price action. Each one of these candles represent a week. Price action just at the top of this range and then back to the bottom of this range. So we've been around the same ranges over the past 3 weeks with a almost a red hanging man or doji candle that was created on last week, which leads me to believe that we're at a stalemate. The sideways action is eventually it's gonna reveal something. Either we're gonna play out to the upside or we're gonna continue to trickle down and break this level of resistance down here, level of support down here. Look at the RSI. RSI on the weekly chart has been in oversold territory since the end of November, the beginning of December. So for several months we've been overbought territory. Do we stay up here forever? I doubt it. I don't know weekly chart. I think we're going to end up giving some of this move back, and I think eventually price action is going to start to follow the oscillators within the RSI. So pay close attention to that. I think we are still in an area where we will see some kind of a pullback in these major indices. So keep that in mind. We are definitely still in overbought territory with a red candle on that last week. That's the daily chart of the Dow Jones. Looks like if I had to put a price target on this, the downside looks like we are support showing support is around 38,000 or 38,085. That's where we could see some kind of support at. And then the question is that enough pullback or correction to get a bounce? We have to wait and see if we start to pull back to that level. Real quick look at the daily chart. As you can see, if you look at the oscillators and the RSI in the daily chart, they have been trending downward. They have been trending downward for a bit now. So eventually the price will follow. All right. And again, we are just hovering right around this 10-period moving average, right above a level of resistance, which is above the 38,085. I think we're going to end up possibly heading down to test that level. Let's look at the Dow Jones. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ real quick. Here's the daily chart on NASDAQ. And again, I want to point out how the RSI is in a downward trend. RSI in a downward trend with price action still just hovering just below a level of resistance, which is below that 16,000 level. I think eventually we can start to see some kind of a pullback here as well. Quick look at the weekly chart. Again, weekly chart shows a rejection at a level of resistance. See that rejection at a level of resistance. Got a red candle on last week. And RSI and overbought territory looks like it's starting to trend downward. Honestly, it's starting to trend downward. So again, we can see a pullback at least to this level, right around that 15,200 level, and then next level of support below that is right around 15,000. So we have to wait and see. I really don't think we're going to have a major breakout above this level in this overbought territory that we're in, not just yet. All right, that's a look at a weekly chart on the NASDAQ. So get rid of that, rid of that, rid of that. Here's a quick look at the daily chart on the NASDAQ again. RSI and the downward trend with price action to still just in this range. Price action still in this tight range. Okay, so it's still in this tight range. So I think eventually it's going to give one way or the other. It would be, my guess, it would be given to the downside. All right, that's the good NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Here's our S&P. Daily chart at S&P. Again, we're hovering right around a level of support. So we had this little gap down here over I guess about a week or so ago. Went back up, pretty much filled this gap. Now I think we are setting up for a move down to follow the RSI. To follow the RSI in a downward fashion. I think that's what we're about to see. Take a look at a weekly chart. Again, in overbought territory, RSI hovering around a level of 80. So here's our RSI, still in overbought territory, right around 180. Got a reversal candle showing up here. So we could see a pullback, at least to the 10-per moving average. That would take the S&P back down to close to 4,800, folks. So we could see a meaningful pullback here as we approach March or sometime in March. So keep that in mind. All right. And again, that's what the daily chart looks like. RSI still trending downward. Price action hovering just above that 10-per moving average. Again, we could see a pullback and maybe back down to this trend line around down around support level around 4,800. That's a possibility. All right, let's take a look at the Russell real quick, because the Russell is one that I think is going to be the outperformer as we travel through the next couple of weeks or so, because the Russell is the only one that really hasn't seen all-time highs, hasn't seen new all-time highs yet. So Russell, again, made it back up to around this almost to 2071, and it's starting to stall out to above, excuse me, a level of support. So I see it's got support right around 2000. And I think between 2000 and 2032 would be a range that the Russell could bounce around in. Now, if the Russell could break below that 2000, I don't think it would break too much lower than that. But we have to wait and see how that pans out. But if you look at a weekly chart of the Russell, I want to point this out, is because the Russell has been beating its head up against this 2000 level for quite a bit. Again, we reached above it around here. And it's all-time highs way up here. So that leads me to believe that the Russell, it could pull back and bounce right back, folks. So I think the Russell eventually wants to join the rest of the market and try to take a stab at its all-time highs. But right now it's in a consolidation phase, and we could see some backfilling here before we get that move higher. So I don't think the Russell is going to give up a lot. This is my personal opinion, but it could drop well below this 16,000. I mean, this 20,000. I mean 2,000 level, and head back down here to the support down here. But I just see the Russell as one that really wants to break out, but don't think it's gonna happen just yet. I think it'll follow the rest of the market with a pullback, and then we have to wait and see what happens. 2,000 will be its first level support. Then below that, we can see. Let's take a look at that real quick by looking at a daily chart to see what's below 2,000. All right. So right below 2,000, you got some support right around here. Right around here. It's around 1980, 1981, and then below that, right around 1950. So we have to wait and see how this pans out. All right. Take a quick glance at the VIX. Right here is a daily chart of the VIX, and looks like it's hovering at support. So right around the support level, Looks like it could make a move to go back up, folks. That's a daily chart. Here is a weekly chart of the VIX. And look how strong the RSI oscillators are showing up in the VIX. This sharp trend higher. Like it just wants to really break out. So again, be very, very cautious, folks. I think this market is at a level where we could see some type of pullback here. All right. Let's take a look at crude oil, because crude oil is another interesting market real quick. In crude, it wants to threaten, it's trying to threaten to break out. So we got crude here. This is weekly chart. I'm going to show you how it's shaping up. So looks like crude is showing some type of pattern that it's trying to create in the middle of a valley. Could be coming back up to this level to create a form of cup. And then if we see price action up here around 85, we could see a pullback like so before we go higher. That is a possibility. So we have to wait to see what happens. Right now, crude is rounding off down here around the bottom and it's trying to head back up. I think if crude breaks 80, 85 would be the next level that we could possibly see in no time. That is a look at the weekly chart of crude. And for one last thing, let's take a look at the daily chart of crude. Here is a daily chart of crude, again hovering right above a level of support, right around the $78 levels where we hovering around now. And it looks like it's eyeing and move at 80. All right, folks, that is all I have for you guys for this weekend. Hopefully, it's something you guys can use. Till the next video, it's Tim Davis signing off. Enjoy your trading week.